This is the Jabberjaw Podcast Network.
This is episode number 49 of Friend or Foe and number 8 of the new show. In this episode, I very proudly welcome Scream Queen and indie horror darling Victoria de Mare. And Victoria is a badass. She is a lot of fun. We had a really good time discussing all things crazy and zany in the industry, including the time she almost appeared in Deadpool and Glee, and a lot of shenanigans that she pulled on set. She was really fun to have in the studio. She is also a recording artist. She released a single, which is a freaking awesome rock single called Raw, which I will be playing for you in this episode. So keep your ears tuned. Here we go.
Was meant to be. If I'm got to set you free, I'll show you what you can't see. You are nothing without me. I'll make you war, leave you in awe. Cut like a saw, come take me. Push comes to your shove. My body feels like your glove. There is no one else above. I'll make you all, leave you in awe. Cut like a saw, come take me. I'll make you all, lay down the law. What I want, so stop being such a funky guy. Please for our eternity exist only to serve them, worship me. I'm more than just a drug. I'm a righteous almighty. Make you mad, leave you in awe. Cut like a saw, come take me. I'll make you all, lay down the law. You're right and all. Take me, leave you in awe. Cut like a saw, come take me. Lay down the law. You're right and all. Come take me. Righteous, almighty, Lord.
Do you hear that? Those voices in your head that are making merry mirth, music, and mayhem? Don't worry. Those voice demons inside your noggin are being made by those two musical mischief makers, Zach Selwyn and Missy Pyle. Sure, they might make a mess in there, but much like Kelly Clarkson's romantic spirit, it will be a beautiful disaster. Missy and Zach might bang as a mighty waterfall of Waka Waka, a veritable comedy cornucopia, a treasure trove of talking dirty, a magical myriad of maniacal mania. Subscribing to the show will provide you a ticket to ride the hilarity train with stops at Laughtown, Chuckle Junction, and Guffaw Gulch. Subscribe and listen to Missy and Zach Might Bang on Apple Podcasts and all your favorite podcast apps. Their show is part of the Unqualified Media family.
I love Missy Pyle. Missy Pyle.
She's great, right?
I'm a fucking fan. Yeah.
She's fantastic. I worked very briefly with her on a short film a number of years ago, and she's hilarious, man. You never know what you're gonna get with her.
Yeah, she's excellent.
And speaking of, you never know what you're gonna get. Who is wearing a shirt with naughty across the top right now, is my very special guest, Victoria Mare. Welcome, Victoria.
Oh
no, I did it, didn't I?
The axe is coming out now. I'm going to have to kill you, friend or foe. Foe.
Foe. No. Oh no. Oh no. Well, there it went. All of my nerd cred right out the window.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry, Victoria. Demar.
I get Demare, I get Mare, I get Demar. It's kind of a hit or miss thing. And I've been doing this new little show on YouTube and mentioning people and crediting people, and I'm sure that I'm mispronouncing like everyone's name. And I totally said on the last episode, like if I'm offending you, like I get offended. I totally understand. Like it's so frustrating when some idiot mispronounces your name. I'm like, message me, comment. If you are the person I'm talking about that's watching this, tell me what an idiot I am and tell me how to pronounce your name, because I know how that feels. So it's totally understandable.
I am so sorry. I'm not worthy. I'm bowing
down
to you right now.
Down on your hands and knees.
You can
we can be friends since you went there.
You can put me in chains later.
Yes.
She's very
we can
excited about that.
definitely be friends.
Whee!
I don't have the panties that match this
Oh,
shirt anymore.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I won't tell the story about what happened to them, but it was interesting.
I'm in awe of all your magistry of tats.
Because it said, thank you. It said naughty and the panty said nice. I forgot to leave that out. That was the good part.
Oh,
Because I would have
see.
flashed you my nice, but I'm not wearing them. I had that conversation with myself in my head,
Damn
and
it.
just didn't come out. Sorry.
Okay. Oh my. So Victoria, we are supposed to be in a movie together. If it ever gets made, I surely hope it does.
Yes. Yes, that's always
Has
the
that
hope.
happened to you as many times as it's happened to me?
Oh my God, all the time. My best friend is always like, "Yeah, is this one really gonna go?" And I'm like, that's the hope. You just,
Sure.
it just happens all the time. I mean, I literally get contacted for things on a weekly basis, and I'm always like, I'm in. So, but you're
Let's
in.
do it,
Yeah. So it's because you never know which one is really actually going to be
The one
made.
I'm talking about, listeners, is a pretty awesome movie called Happy Ending. Hopefully you'll get to see it. Please throw just piles of money at us. Seriously,
Yes.
we would really love to make it. It also stars Maria Olsen and
Is
and
Brad
Jemima.
Potts in it too?
Brad
I think
Potts,
Brad
that's
Potts
right.
makes an appearance in there.
Dude, it's gonna be off the hizzle.
Even there's another good one in there too. Jill, work with me here. Who am I talking about? Jill Lynn. I'm going to say something. I think I'm mispronouncing her name. She was in a film of mine that was just released in theaters, and she had a great scene. She was really, really good in it. And I was like, oh my God, Jill. I think her first name is Jill. She's in it too.
Yeah.
Happy Ending. There's
It's
some
gonna
good
be
ones.
yeah. It's gonna be a blast
I do.
once we actually make it.
The table read was like a couple years ago. I attended that, and the merchandising was really great. I got a great calendar, the only calendar that I have of myself actually on it, and he gave me the month of October, which I was like, thank you so much, because that
Right.
was that like either like October or like April, which is my favorite month of the year. But he gave me October, which was the best.
For sure. Shouts to you, Phil. We're
Yes.
pulling for you. It's gonna happen. We're gonna pull it off after this show. We're just gonna get huge heaps of money
That's
thrown
right.
at the Patreon page. By the way,
Zillion.
I'm creating a Patreon page. It's not quite done yet, but it's gonna be pretty awesome. Actually, if you want to do a plug for the Patreon.
Yes, I was told recently to do my own page, and why don't I have one?
100%.
And I was like,
get on it.
I'm like way behind.
No, it's seriously
have
an
to-
incredible resource.
I have to get on
It
it.
truly is.
All right,
Especially as active as you are on social media and all
Yeah.
that. I mean, it really is gold, because you can create kind of whatever tiers you want.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you my nice, and it's
Yeah.
yeah, subscribe to me for $20 a month, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, I know. It's really good. It's really good. It's on the list. It literally is on the list. I have, Post-its and lists, and it's on there. Doing it. I'm totally doing it. There's a lot of naughty and nice on my social media already. So, and every once in a while I'll tweet something, donations are always kindly accepted with my PayPal address. And every once in a while I'll get a deposit. So it's
never
great.
know.
So I need to get on this site here.
Yeah.
Patreon. Is that how you pronounce
Patreon,
it? Patreon.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't want to mispronounce you, Patreon.
Patreon. There is so much I want to talk to you about.
Yay.
Just heaps of amazing projects that you've worked on. But first, because I'm a super nerd, I got to talk about Deadpool. Like, I know you were only on it for a second, but
Right.
please tell me everything.
Well, the scene that I was actually in that was really, really, really fucking awesome. In your notes, we can swear on the show, right? Because I kind of
Fuck yeah.
have
Yes,
a
please.
mouth
Oh,
like
yeah.
worse than a sailor, so it's going to come out
Yeah, go
every other
ahead.
word. The thing that was really exciting was I had this massive featured scene on the stage in the club, in the strip club. I've played a stripper many, many, many times in my career, and I love it. I love those roles. I love the stripper and the crack whore and the prostitute and everything else that goes with that. Pool of characters. So I was really, really excited because I was like, I'm going to shine my ass off literally in this one, and it was such an epic opportunity. And the entire scene got cut. It's happened to me many, many times in my career. I'm a nerd and a geek also, and I love that. That's a compliment to all the nerds and the geeks out there, in my opinion. But I love musicals, and I loved the show Glee. And I had a role, and I had a part, and I had an episode on that show. Which was cut. And there's nothing worse than, Fox doesn't tell you, hey, Victoria tomorrow, you're on the editor room floor.
They don't give you that
They
courtesy.
don't give you that heads up. I mean, if you're working on a low-budget independent film and you create a relationship with the filmmakers and
Sure.
producers, you could say, can you send me some footage, send me some cut for my reel, whatever, boom, boom, boom. Big studios don't do that. And especially if you're a peon like me, so in their system. So I'm sitting there watching it with my friends. The episode, we're getting drunk. I have this scene with the two stars. I'm literally playing the nerdy hula hoop girl, nerded out, glasses. You wouldn't even
That's
recognize
fantastic.
me. It was so fucking awesome because I was like, everyone's going to be like, that's not even you. I'm like, this is going to launch my comedic, mainstream character career. And this is going to be and it was like, I was the girl, the nerd in the hula hoop girl club. And they were making fun of the fact that this is even a club. And we were serious motherfuckers in there about all the hula hooping and the whole thing where it wasn't just hula hooping around the waist. It was the neck, the arms, the wrists, the elbows, the knees, the foot, the ankle. And I could do all those things. And the whole scene would start on me or whatever, every time. And I was, I'm a sweater anyway, but I was sweating so many bullets through my shirt, which I was very happy that my little white button-down little collared shirt had a cardigan over it because I was literally it was like pit stains Damar. It was just disgusting
Yeah.
on the set. I was like, oh my God, because I was so nervous. And every time they were like, keep it going. And I did not ever want to fuck up the shot
Sure,
and lose
right.
the thing. So I had this whole epic scene. It was so great. And it fucking was cut. And I'm sitting there watching the show with all my friends. And we're all like, yeah. And then since I knew the script, I knew the episode, I knew that the page after mine was happening on the screen,
Right.
that I was like, oh my God, you guys. And I just totally cried. I mean, I was literally totally just crying and embarrassed and everything. I was like, oh my God. So it happens all the time. So I didn't cry this time. I was just like, fuck. But,
Son of a bitch!
What are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? That's happened to me a million times.
Fox has this thing with me.
I did work on that show a couple times, as a background. No shame.
I love that show.
I had a featured bit as a mime.
That's
on
awesome.
one episode, if you can believe it.
I'm so jealous. And you didn't make the cutting room floor?
No. I mean, I only
It's
showed up
amazing.
in a few little sparse moments, as it usually happens. But it was a great day. It was a quick beat day. We were in and out in 5-6 hours or whatever. Those are the days I love, because we were all in costume. We got to know each other very well, very quickly, and then got in there, did our thing, and they had an actual the teacher that was the mime teacher in the episode was also teaching us.
That is very cool.
So it was pretty great. I learned some all the little
I love mime.
techniques.
I studied mime in college. I mean, it was kind of an easy A class, especially being like a professional dancer and an actor. And so it was like mime was like an elective, you could take, and I was just like so into it. It was so I loved it. It was great. It was one of my favorite classes, especially when we had like pieces that we had to perform and everything. I would go crazy for that. I love mime. Did you have any interaction with the stars, Corey and Leah? Because I did, because I had a scene with them, and it was very interesting.
Very extremely brief. Like they came over and I mean they were very much in the scene with us, but yeah, they came over and shook our hands and said hello and stuff, which was very nice.
Really,
And then,
even Leah did.
no.
Not
Leah
her.
it was Corey.
Yeah, he was a sweetheart.
And Corey and Chris.
Nice.
Yeah.
I cried terribly when Corey OD'd and died because
Darren Chris. Yeah.
Nice.
Right.
Because Corey was an incredibly nice person, and since I had a scene with the two of them, and I was also very nervous, we had a lot of downtime. You go into the little craft service room or whatever, and like he would come in there and talk to me and be like, "You're so good in this scene. Oh my god, you're so good. You're so funny. Wow, hey, how you doing?" And just talking to me like blah 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 blah, and I was just like, I get so starstruck, it's like ridiculous. And she was like. They were both total professionals and everything was amazing, but he was like just the warmest like sweetheart and like talking to everyone and was so like, and she was all like, she's not to be looked at, and and I'm like, how do I not look at her? I'm having interaction with her, and it's like,
just gotta put a bag over my head.
It's
I guess.
Like when you're not in the scene, don't look at her, and she doesn't talk to anyone.
So
and
it's
it was
really
just,
like that.
it
I've
was
heard
just,
all the stories, and okay,
the abrasive energy, like when she came into the room and you were like, ugh, what's happening? And then
That's
you
so
turn around
awful.
and she's standing there, and you're like, oh, I mean, she was literally a cunt. I mean, I love that word, so I'm just gonna use it.
no.
She was a cunt. But I mean, great. I mean, she was great. But
unfortunately, I hear that all the time. Like any stories I've ever heard about Leah, it's just like they just couldn't stand to work with her. That's really sad. It's really sad that why do you need to be like that?
Right?
Seriously.
Why?
I've told all my friends, if I ever make it, if I ever if I ever get famous, whatever, just. If I'm being a douchebag, just please punch me in the face. Just seriously, just punch me right in the fucking nose, because there's no sense in being like that. Everybody's got to come up, man.
Right.
I mean, we're all doing our things. I've got this podcast. It's going to make me very famous very, very soon. So, once I get there, you got to have some humbleness about
Well, yeah, and it's just like old school. Like my mom always used to say, you can always attract more bees with honey. Like, just to be a nice person and to be nice to someone, like, you could save someone's life. Like, someone could be so down and depressed you don't even know what's going on, and they could be anticipating going home and killing themselves. But since you took the time of day to be like, hey, and, like, spoke to them or made them laugh, they changed their mind. Like, and it doesn't cost anything just to be nice to people. So
That's right.
There's a lot of shitty, fucked up motherfuckers up there, and I just think that they should stop being haters and stop being mean, horrible people just for the sake of being mean, because, like, it doesn't behoove you. It's only going to come back onto you. You're hurting someone, and it's like, be nice. Like, hello. I hate that. So many people get so ugly on social media, and I get so over that.
Yeah, for sure.
The bullying and stuff like that. I mean, people kill themselves, like children, like take their lives over relentless, like, horror that's not like fun like what we do, but like mental like turmoil, and like take their little lives, and they're like 8 years old. It's like, whoa.
Right.
It's going too far.
Unbelievable. And we keep getting more stories about it. And, it's just senseless ridiculousness. Just doesn't need to happen. Just be nice to people.
Yeah.
Please.
Be nice.
Come on, guys.
Or otherwise you're going to have to answer to Victoria DeMar. You're not going to want to.
That's right. She's ferocious. Let me tell you, guys. Ooh.
Growling.
All right, let's talk about the label Scream Queen. Do you embrace that? Is it something? Do you?
I love it. I'm a Scream Queen fan of a lot of women in my genre and in that genre when I was a little girl. So I just always kind of laugh because it's like me, like, really? Like, awesome. Like, I think it's great. I think it's an honor. I think it's, horror films really have they're the only genre that really have that place for women, for lack of a better word. Like, help me out here, Devin. Like, that, like, tag for a woman, or that, like, honor for a woman. Because it's like, in drama and comedy and action and all those things, it's just like, well, it's the leading lady and the leading man. But to be a Scream Queen is like a whole, like, that's a whole other thing.
Well, it's like a horror ingenue, right?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. it's a badge
There
of
you go.
honor
There
for
you go.
sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
And you lead a long pack of other incredible actresses that are out there doing it. You know, Tiffany Shepis,
Love
and
her. Big fan.
who is very, very sweet. I've met her at a number of conventions and things, and she's
a hoot.
always super cool.
She's a hoot. She's awesome. She's awesome. Awesome in person. Awesome on screen. I'm a fan. You know, like I'm a fan of a lot of my like colleagues and stuff like that. Where it's like, Jamie Bernadette, I'm a big fan of, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine. And when she met me, she was the producer on one of the films that we worked together on. And when she came in, she met me, and she was all like, "Victoria DeMar, oh my God, I feel like I'm meeting a movie star." And I was laughing so hard, and we were both laughing so hard because I was like, I felt like the same way. I was like, "Oh my God, Jamie!" Like, you know, like it's So it's one of those. It's one of those things.
I was super sad, actually. I auditioned for I Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu.
Oh, so did
And I
I.
was
Those
very-
bastards.
Did you?
Yeah. Well,
that's-
Jamie got my part.
Yeah.
You know, that happens with a lot of your
Sure.
like colleagues and stuff like that. Like she'll get it, I'll get it, they'll get it. Like, you know, it happens all the time. And you know, which makes me happy because we're all out there working and everyone's getting a turn. And okay, she got that one, I got this one, what have you. But we all seem to be supportive of each other's work too. I feel like Screen Queen is such a community because it's such a niche, you know, like in film and in the horror genre or whatever. So it's kind of like a community, like family. There's not a lot of like kind of like going on. Yeah, cause I mean, maybe there is. There is a little bit of that. What am I saying? There absolutely is a little bit of that. But
I have a story that I can't share. I won't share any names with you.
It was on Deja Vu or the audition?
It was no. I unfortunately didn't get to work on it. Good.
Me neither.
Good
Because
night.
Jamie got my part.
I really wanted to. As we talked about earlier, we've been connected to Happy Ending for 2 years or whatever it's been for now.
While.
I shared with Maria that I got the audition. She'd been posting all over her Facebook that she was really excited about this resurgence of this movie that she had this audition for, and of course she couldn't say what it was. And I messaged her and said, I'm going into audition for Deja Vu, and she was like, "Yeah, that's the movie I've been talking about." And then of course she got it. Congratulations to her. I'm so proud when I see my friends working, and holy crap, Maria is just kicking ass, taking names all over the place. I'm so happy for her.
I love her. I love Maria. We've worked together on a couple films, and we're slated to work together on several. And I had coffee with her. I forget what we were even like talking about, and we were both. I was telling her about this big audition that I had, and I'd had a callback or whatever, and she was talking about it too. And then she mentioned that it was, or maybe I mentioned that it was I Spit on Your Grave or whatever, Deja Vu, and she was like, "Oh, that's the film I was auditioning for." And then I thought the same thing, and she got the part. When she got the part, I was like, "That's awesome." And then I was like, "Fuck, I would have heard. Who the fuck got my part?" And then I was all like, "Oh,
it's
Jamie, I love you."
Right.
So.
Yeah, she's super cool. Yeah, she was at this fashion show. I caught up with her at one of the clubs here in Hollywood. Everybody was taking pictures, of course. There were photographers there, but I happened to be on the second floor taking some photos, and I tweeted them, and she just couldn't get it. She was like, thank you so much for doing that. She was very sweet about it.
She's awesome. She's working like a madwoman too. Like, I mean, she's worked on so many films, like in 2016 or something like that, that she was like honored at some award ceremony for film and stuff like that. Like, and she is a sweetheart. And like, she'll like message me and be like, "I was watching your scenes again in our film, and you were just so good. I just can't believe this is so good." And when it's coming from someone that you really like and respect, then you're like, okay, wow, like, cool, like, okay, it's good. I'm good.
It feels really
People are
good.
gonna like it.
Yeah.
And it was one of these things where like I saw a clip of like the teaser trailer, and in one of the moments I was like, oh my God, what was that? What was that? That was horrifying. And then I realized when I went back and looked, that was me. When you don't even recognize yourself, then then you're getting somewhere if you're a character actor.
For sure. How much do you love special effects makeup?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it. I mean, I have to love it because getting into Batty Boop took 5 hours a day every day.
I mean, that is...
and 2.5 hours to get out of it every day.
Wow. It's so incredible, that character, and you just played the hell out of it.
Thank you. I love her.
Yeah.
I
very,
love her.
very awesome.
There was a really amazing opportunity. And the June 30-ish June 30ish, like maybe to July 10th-ish. The Batty Boop dolls, the little action figures, will
No
be
kidding?
available. Yeah, the sculpts have been approved. I haven't posted anything on social media, really announced anything yet. So this is kind of
This is an exclusive?
This is kind of like the exclusive first thing.
Score.
But it's been confirmed between when we were discussing it. It's about 30 to 40 days away, maybe even 45 days away.
Who's making those?
Full Moon Toys is releasing the Batty Boop resin doll statue. The parts on it don't actually move like an action figure, but it's like action figure size. It will come in a box, so you can choose to, if you're one of those nerdy collectors like me that collects things and always keeps it in the box, and never like takes
Points
it out.
itself.
Yeah. That's one of those that you're gonna want to collect, because it does actually come in its own little box and stuff. So.
Oh man,
That'd
see,
be really cool.
I maybe should have had you on later so I could have had you sign it. You'll have to come back, right?
Oh, I will.
You'll
I
have
would
to
totally
come back and sign one.
I'll come back all the time. I mean, I'll come back tomorrow. Hey, I mean, I'll come back all the
Please,
time.
anytime. Yeah. You know where we are now. So.
Yes, and it's funny because I walked around the side of the building too, because I knew that the theater was there, but then you were about the cafe or whatever, and so I was like, oh, okay, so I'll wait here.
We're in the back cave over here. Yeah, it's a little secret.
It's secret. Yeah, so that's really exciting, and it's now people have recognized, the real mega fans that pay attention, that Batty Boop's makeup did change a little bit between 3, 4, and 5, and the sculpt was based on her appearance and her makeup in Killjoy Psycho Circus, the final film that we did, the 5th film. The makeup artist who did Tom Devlin and John LeChago had created the design of Batty Boop from way back years ago, but Felicia Galamella did the artwork on me, did the painting full body herself without an assistant.
Whoa.
On the other films, there were other assistants and people assisting, several people in the room getting me ready, and she did all that work in the same amount of time, I'd like to add, all by herself. So I'm really, really happy for Fee.
That's
I love
unbelievable.
You, Fee.
That's incredible.
Yes. It is incredible that one person did all that in the same amount of time.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
And whether it was 4 people, 5 people, or 1 person,
It
makeup took
doesn't
the
matter.
same amount of time.
It's an unbelievable amount of work, and
It is.
and for both parties, because
Yes.
you have to stay so still, like
Yes.
a blink out of place, and it's another 45 minutes of work.
Yeah,
Because
and you can't sit down.
No.
Full body, you're there. I mean, it's exactly right. It's like yoga. I mean, I would literally go in there and do like yoga, like breathing, and like try and think in a meditative, like yoga, like state, because I literally had to stand spread-legged, arms spread, still for 5 hours. I couldn't sit. I mean, I would move around as she was doing certain things, but I couldn't sit down, because then we'd have to touch up, and that would take more time. And
Of
they
course.
would try and tell me every time, "Nah, Victoria, we're gonna be able to get. It'll take two and a half max. It's gonna be done." And I'm like, "No, look, man, we've done 3. We already did 2 films. This is the 3rd film. It's going to take 5 hours, no matter." And she was like, "I can do it." Because she trained under Tom Devlin, who was on Face Off and had a school and shop and everything going on in Las Vegas. And so, I mean, she was like his star student, and he was like, she can do it, because he wasn't actually, he was working on something else where he couldn't come from Vegas to be in LA when we shot, and she was like, I can do it. And I met her beforehand too, and he was like, she can do it, and she was rock and roll. It was awesome. It was
That's
awesome.
amazing.
But I mean, during lunch, it was lay down time, lay down, roll around or whatever, because then I could get touched up and whatever. And a lot of the time factor on the 5th one, on Psycho Circus, we were moving so quickly. John LeChago wanted to incorporate into the story, and it was really, really hot in the studio, that as the makeup started to come off, that was part of, well, Killjoy and Batty were turning mortal. They were turning human. So that would make sense, because with the time factor of the touching up, and you're shooting like 20 scenes in a day, like idiots like we are, you don't have time for even a 10-minute touch-up. We got to go, I mean, most of that performance was done in one take. The entire Batty Boop performance from the 3rd film, 4th film, and the 5th film was mostly one take. There were a couple times where we did a 2nd and a 3rd take, but because we were there, and I know, you know your work as an actor, and you know what takes and stuff like that, and you're watching it, and especially when you're only doing one take, you're like, Jesus. Like most of that, 99% of that performance was one take.
holy crap.
I did a lot of preparation.
I am.
Because John would be like, great, we're moving on. Awesome. We love to get Victoria on the set because we can move. We can shoot, you know.
And that's good to have such a great team that you're able to do that, and a director that you can do that with, of course, you know.
He knows I come in and I hit the ground running, so he was ready for it. But
you don't screw around. I had the great pleasure of working with John Beekler on a film that unfortunately no one will ever see.
Oh man, you never know.
I know.
It'll resurface. It'll resurface.
You can't see me, listeners, but I'm praying a little bit. I really hope you get to see it. I won't mention the name of it because you'll just go to IMDb and be like, why isn't this coming out? You'll never see it. Leslie Easterbrook was in it, and Eileen Dietz, and Caroline Williams.
Wow, what?
I know,
this
right?
is awesome.
But
you're going to say Debbie Rashawn, and I'm going to start to get a little irritated.
Debbie was not in, unless they added her later, which they probably did. Like everyone was coming on board at one point. But he did this great face prosthetic on me, and because it was an anthology, and I was the lead in the segment, and I was battling a demon bunny, which was super cool. And the demon bunny at one point throws me backwards into a pool, which ended up being my first real stunt, which was awesome. I got to tell you, I was freaking terrified, but I finally did. And the director kept yelling at me because he's like,
of course,
just be professional, do it, just do it.
And you're like, bitch, we don't even have the insurance if I get paralyzed,
They did not.
Yeah.
I would have been toast for sure. I mean, they had a mat there. It was fine. He did all this really incredible, very intricate makeup on me, and just lightning fast. Mm-hmm. I love doing that stuff. Also, I love zombie stuff. I was a zombie for they had this huge Call of Duty event at the Forum last year.
Nice.
They had a whole horde of us zombies that were chasing off the soldiers. We were inside this 80s retro laser tag arena.
Yes.
It was the most fantastic thing you could ever imagine. We got in so many videos, and they were like, we still message each other every once in a while because some article will pick it up, doing a thing on Call of Duty, and they
that is so
it was
cool.
Incredible.
Oh man,
I love that stuff so much.
Is there anywhere to play laser tag in LA?
I don't know. Is there?
Because that is so fun. Oh
Zig,
my God.
do you know?
Jesus, we gotta find out.
we gotta find it out.
Yeah,
for sure. I've never played a laser tag in real life. Other than that,
I haven't either. But that would be fun as shit.
we all went up against each other at the end. Of course, we all
so
at the end of
fun.
our day, we got in there and played. It's absolutely amazing.
That is so fun. That is so awesome. I worked on a little independent short film that I don't even know whatever happened to it or even came out. There's so many things that I did before there was IMDb, and even now that there is IMDb, that have never shown up on the database because they were never finished or never released or nobody bothered to add it.
I've done a few of those.
Yes, I've done so. I mean, there literally are, approximately a dozen or more. I've been around a long time, so it's been crazy, and even now. Just because you have worked on a film doesn't mean it's necessarily going to already be up there or get up there. You could work on it a couple years ago, and it's in post-production, it's going to festivals, and it's still not being submitted to festivals, but it's still not on IMDb. And so it's like, wait a minute, my page is never up to date. It's never correct. If things are wrong and you submit it to them, they ignore you. You got to get your representation involved, and it's just IMDb.
You don't have to preach to me. I'm actually perk self up. I'm actually an IMDb professional, or at least that's what I've put on business cards. I know far too much about all the intricacies of submitting new titles, and I've done it for a long time. And you're absolutely right. The thing is, there are all these levels, and they actually work on a point system. I'm going to bore you to death here, listeners. Everyone that you have attached to the project has a different point level, just like life, including producers, directors, all cast and crew, and of course, any company that you have attached. But if you're even sometimes if you have names like Victoria here, and it's attached, but it's a company that no one's ever heard of or that's not already established on the database, sometimes the title administrators just kick it right out.
They ignore it.
For no reason at all. And sometimes, as I've found through much trial and error, it depends on the title editor that actually sees it when the project comes through.
True.
It's a whole thing. Okay.
It is. And also, I would just like to reiterate, too, even sometimes when information is incorrect, Like if you get like a lot of times an uncredited role is absolutely feasible role if you were featured and your screen credit was not in your agreement. It wasn't part of the deal. It wasn't part of the compensation, but it was, you agreed to do the uncredited role. You did it. You got your paycheck and you went home or whatever. That is a real thing. It's a featured, generally quote unquote like role, but some featured roles can speak whatever. It depends. However, sometimes there's a mistake when there actually is a screen credit. You can take a picture of it on your TV. You can take a screen capture of your call sheet and send it to them because they'll require that kind of proof.
Yep.
And then they still won't change it. And it's like the most frustrating thing in the world. I'm going to the car wash and the woman is recognizing me on the show that she just saw going like, are you on TV? Are you an actress? Are you on TV? Are you on like this TV series? And it's like, you know, when you do a lot of things, you don't know when things are getting released. And it's like the woman at the car wash is giving me a free wax because she saw me on the show, but fucking IMDb won't change the fact that my role was a credited role.
Cole Needham won't give you the time of day.
It's crazy. But like old films, sometimes when they don't go anywhere, they don't get on there. And it was like this short film that I was doing one time you were saying about a stunt where the guy was like, just do it. Worked on something like that where the director was like, there's a fight scene, there's a guy stalking me, I'm in my kitchen and he comes in, this big fight or whatever, and he takes me out and he drags me through the kitchen, had a sliding glass door where there was a patio and a pool. So he was going to come in, attack me, take me out and drown me in the pool. So this guy wanted me to be attacked from behind, go flying through the sliding glass door, which was not a candy glass gag prop door, was a real glass door, and into the pool where this guy was going to actually drown me. And I was like, the fuck I am.
Oh, shit. No way.
I was like, the fuck I am or whatever. It was like a crazy
not a
incident.
chance.
It was, so sometimes, those directors are like, just do it. Just come on. You're a professional.
Yeah.
You should do it. I'm not a professional stunt player, you
Right.
fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Big
right.
difference.
Yeah, that's why they do that for a living.
Yes. And they're very...
They get paid lots of money to break their neck.
Yes, and they're very trained. I worked on a film last week that was really fantastic. That was a horror action film, and the stunts in it were incredible. And like the stunt choreographer and the lead stuntman and the stunt players were fucking amazing. And these people train, and men and women were on the set, and these people train like in this. Like this is what they do for a living, and they train like all the time in it. So to ask an actor, like, come on, be a professional, just do it. I'm a professional actor, motherfucker. Different from a professional stunt player.
I mean, listen, I'm shameless. I am as
like,
a courageous a nerd as I can possibly be. But especially after that experience, it's just like I'm,
I'm like,
I gotta
how much?
wake up to live another day.
Yeah,
and
of course.
It was like,
it's like, well, and how much are you going to bump me for doing this
and
skill?
let me
and
tell
they're
you
like,
about
no. I'm
the
like, okay.
pay situation on that
Yes.
film was a whole other podcast.
You would get two double fingers from Victoria DeMar and seeing
Yeah.
her ass that you could wish you could kiss on the way out.
Pretty
That's
much.
what you would say.
It was pretty raw.
Ooh, Raw. Oh, by the way, I have a new hard rock single
Ooh.
entitled Raw, available now on iTunes and Apple Music.
I planned that.
Shameless ABP, always be promoting.
That's right. Exactly. Werewolf in a women's prison.
Oh, now we're talking. Classic. Classic.
One of your best.
Thank you. One of the most fun. You know, it's unbelievable that film is still popular in its little cult genre after so many years. And we've done a whole series now. We've done Dracula in a Women's Prison, which is the follow-up, and Frankenstein in a Women's Prison. There was a discussion about Mummy in a Women's Prison where John Lechago, who was not involved with this feature series, who wrote and directed Killjoy Psycho Circus and Killjoy the Demon Clown and Killjoy Goes to Hell, wanted to take over the helm and be, he pitched this big, like, oh my God, I'm Victoria as the mummy and it's going to be this incredible thing. And it got shot down or whatever. The producers were really married to doing just having the trilogy and hopefully releasing it as a set and the whole thing. And we were like, yeah, but you got to do the bookend of the 4 like Universal monsters in there. But it's always a possibility, never say never. But I'm very, very, very excited about Dracula in a Women's Prison. It's the perfect follow-up because it's comedy. It's horror comedy. There is horror in it where there aren't like limbs and things flying around.
Darn.
Like people getting ripped apart like in the first one, which was really great. But there are horror moments and blood spraying around and things happening of that nature, but not as much. There's just more comedy in this one. It's like it's so funny. I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's one of the funniest movies that I've ever seen. Where it's like, and that has nothing to do with me in it. I'm saying the film, the standalone film as itself. Like, I love feature film series where each film is a standalone film, because then you can enjoy it in any genre of a film fan that you are. You're not lost. You know what's going on. And even if you haven't seen the other films and you don't know the story. So this is a standalone film. It is so funny. It almost borders on spoof, but it's not spoof. Spoof something else, as you know, in the comedic genre. But it's everything that you were hoping that the follow-up would be and more. So that's all I can say about it, that like there's more comedy than there is gore and horror. There are tons and tons and tons, more so in this film, of hot naked chicks running around.
Yes.
And Frankenstein in a woman's prison is also the perfect like final chapter in the series. And you also see Victoria get involved in a very fun Victoria Sandwich threesome between Puma Swede, who is a gigantic porn star, myself, and Gin and Tonic, who is a fantastic actress who also appears in Dracula in a Women's Prison. She was not in the first one. The only one who's in the first one that's in the second two is me. So
Awesome.
I'm the only one.
As it should be.
Yes. So and I play a different part in the third one. I don't play Dr. Frankenstein. I play a different part in that feature, and it's a totally different part for me, and it's a really fun way to see me in the film in that way. In Dracula in a Women's Prison, though, I play both of the main parts, both of the sisters. There's a sister situation, and I play both, and only because I was cast as one of the sisters, not both. But there was a situation where the night before, the actress that someone didn't want to, I can't remember between the director, no, I think the director didn't want to hire her, but the producer was like, we got to get her. And then they hired her, and the night before she backed out, like literally the night before, like our full schedule of our 2-week shoot or whatever it was. And literally, like, the director is a really, really good friend of mine and colleague of mine, Jeff Leroy, who is amazing, I think is a genius. Called me and was like, I fucking told Nick, man. I fucking told him not to hire that girl. Like, and if you know Jeff Leroy, you'll appreciate that voice. Because he's like, Victoria, do you think you could do both parts? You know, I didn't want her, man. I told her just get Victoria. I told him from the get, we got to just get Victoria, man. And I was like, Jeff, anything for you. And we just went with it. With wigs, and one sister's tattooed, the other sister's not tattooed. One's with the darker auburn reddish hair, edgy. One's blonde but wears black, pink, blue, fucking little pixie. We got a Jamie Lee Curtis, because I love Jamie Lee Curtis style wig that I was in there, because we were trying to do a play on Alias with her, because she's investigating what's happening to her sister. And it just became this whole thing, and her whole demeanor and her whole thing. They were sisters, but they were night and day. And it was one of these things when we were shooting this, and we were shooting it really fast. Again, we were shooting it like, I don't know, literally one of those 20 to 25 scenes a day, kind of like Ed Wood style filmmaking. Like, I was like, man, I'm going to go down in history as either the worst actress who has ever lived if I can't pull this shit off, or like, wow, goddamn, like, she pulled it off. Like, she's actually a really good actress. And I was just holding my breath the whole time, going like, what am I doing? Like, and I would go home at night and be like, preparing, like, what am I doing? Should I even be doing this? Like, what am I doing? I don't even know if I can do this. Like, am I doing it? Because I would be like, am I different? Because we would get a stand-in to come and stand and put the wig on me that was my same height. And then I would do the other sister, and then we'd go back and we'd do the scene again as the other way. And I was literally doing it like that, back to back, and just in and out of makeup and just changing it up. So I'm going, what's happening? Like, is this even working? And Jeff's like, it's great, we're going with it, because time-wise, he's like, oh my God, we have to keep shooting. So it was one of those films. I will never forget making those 3 films. I've been approached in bars and parties and restaurants, and the car wash was the other lady on the other TV show, but people who have seen Werewolf in a Women's Prison in Los Angeles, I live in Los Angeles, and who have approached me and said, were you in a film called Werewolf in a
I
Woman's
think
Prison?
I've seen you somewhere before.
In a women's prison. Yeah.
That is so amazing. I can't wait to see all of the
Thank you.
upcoming iterations.
Dracula should be released this year, but I don't have a release date yet. There was a rumor that I was going to have one, and we're having a screening and a big party for the release soon, but I don't have an actual date. But it is a 2017 release, I believe. So we're kind of still mid. I'm holding on to the mid, getting to end of May. So I mean, it's 99% sure that it's going to be 2017.
Excellent.
When Puma comes back into town, we're going to launch this shit and party down. That's what I was told. So Puma, come back, baby.
You better believe it. Well, Victoria.
Did I take up all your time just on that film?
You totally did. No. It's absolutely great. I'm in awe of all the projects that you did. I'm all about sister action, so I thank you for telling me all about that. Can't wait to see it. Please, everyone, go out and pick up. What did you say? I'm so sorry. Your single that is.
Yeah, I have lots of. I have my first digital album. Can You Not Tell? It was released in September 2016. That's out and it's available everywhere. You can get this a 14-track album. You can get the singles. You can get the album itself. And in addition to that, in 2017, I released a separate single, a hard rock track called Raw. That is available everywhere you download and stream your music, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, everywhere. It's independent of the album. The album is a pop rock album. So, but I have all kinds of stuff on there, from pop dance to punk rock to jazz. There's a hidden bonus track on there that's a jazz trio.
Ooh.
I mean, I write and compose and perform it all. So you check those out.
You're not just a triple threat. You're like all of the threats.
Yeah,
Like
I'm all.
the
That's
things
it, baby.
Going
That's my next tattoo. I'm all of the threats,
That's
bitch. Right. That's it. That's gonna be my next tattoo. So.
And where can people find you? I know they can find you pretty much everywhere online.
ScreamQueenDemar.com was my longstanding website, but it's turning into VictoriaDemar.com. Is being released this year, and actually, I have to go check the last proof so we can actually launch this. Site for my webmaster, so I apologize on that. But you can check that out. I'm on Twitter at Victoria Demar. I'm on Instagram at Victoria Demar. I'm on Facebook at The Victoria Demar. As a people page, I'm at my friend request limit at 5,000, but every once in a while, 2 or 3, 4 people drop off, and then people send requests all the time, and I just add the people who are next in line or whatever. So send a request anyway, because when people drop out, I mostly add all fans and such to that. But and the Batty Boop Doll on the album and the single, and also the Black Room that was playing in theaters is now available on DVD and Blu-ray, and it'll be premiering on video on demand, I believe, June 3rd. So check that out as well.
Excellent. Pick all of that up, all of you.
Yes.
You listening to me? Do it.
Yes, and Hustler Magazine is also still available, too. Not on stands anymore. It was the January 2017 issue with Danielle Harris, Penny Suicide, Erin Marie Hogan, and myself. We were the feature 6-page spread in the magazine, but everybody said spread. Yeah, okay, but it's not that kind of spread, although I do give you some goodies to look at in it. But it is not on stands anymore, but you can get it still through the website. And if you pick up that issue and you send me that issue to my fan club P.O. box, I will sign it for you for free and send it back. And the same with the Batty Boop dolls. When they come out and they're available, if you buy one and you send it to me, with the return stamped envelope and shipping or whatever, I'll sign that shit for you for free. Because if you catch me at a convention, you're going to get charged for it.
Once again, I will have you back and have you sign all of the things for sure.
You're going to be one of those guys that's all his DVDs. I love those guys.
I'm gonna have a giant Santa Claus bag that's just
I love those
hauling
guys.
it in, trying to get it through the door.
I know they do that. They bring all their DVDs. They bring their scratch and they're like, Victoria, can you sign all this too? And they bring like all this stuff with them in a bag. I'm like,
yeah,
sure.
I'm that guy for sure. Well, thank you so much, Victoria Demar.
Thank
Got
you.
it right this time. And never again. I'll never get it wrong again. Thank you so much for joining me.
Did we get everything on your list, or did we miss a whole bunch?
Oh, who knows? I just, I write things down and it just goes how it goes.
Was there any question you wanted to ask me that you didn't get to ask that was like a pending thing where you were like,
wow.
oh, God, I wanted to ask her?
I don't, I want to talk to you about working with Charles Band. That'll be on the next.
That's the next episode,
next trip.
baby. That's it.
Listeners, of course, you can find the show at all the places. Subscribe and listen to the show on friendorfoepod.com and across all social media at friendorfoepod, that's FAUX. And you can find me, Devlin Wilder, at all the places at Devlin Wilder, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you on the next one.
Visit jabberjawmedia.com for more shows like this one.